Prayers.
Almighty God, who in thy wisdom and goodness has appointed the offices of rulers and parliament for the welfare of society and just government of men, we beseech thee to behold with thy abundant favor of thy servants, whom thou hast been pleased to call to the performance of important trusts in this land. Let thy blessing descend upon us here in this house assembled. Grant us that we may treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberation in so just and faithful a manner, to promote thy honor and glory, to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of this country, and of those whose interests thou hast committed to our charge. Amen. Clerk, may we proceed?
Thank you. Communication from the chair.
Honorable members, today's sitting marks the end of this ordinary session. That's the first ordinary session of the Assembly in the 2026 legislative year. This was precisely a 4-week ordinary session with lots of businesses, prominent among which was the consideration of the motion on the State of the Nation address delivered by His Excellency, the President of the Republic, legislative processes of critical bills, including other important motions and reports. Honorable members, as has always been said, the business of the plenary can never be exhausted. We will therefore today start the motion on the adjournment debate to adjourn this ordinary session, signed I. Therefore, I wish to welcome His Excellency, the Vice President, and all honorable ministers here in present to attend to this very important sitting of the Assembly, being the adjournment debate. This is a unique sitting of the Assembly at the end of each ordinary session, allowing honorable members the opportunity to discuss and debate on cross-cutting issues, which of course requires the attention of the executive. At the appropriate time of the debate, I will invite His Excellency, the Vice President, and honorable ministers to also participate in the debate and to respond to issues raised regarding their portfolios. Honorable members, our parliamentary journey over the course of this session manifests our collective commitment to the betterment of our society. We have grappled with complex issues and made decisions that would impact the lives of our constituents for years to come. Honorable members, as we adjourn this session, I encourage each of us to reflect on the work we have accomplished during this session and the work that lies ahead. Let us continue to engage with our constituents, seek their feedback, and work collaboratively across party lines for the greater good of our nation. Finally, honorable members, I want to express my sincere appreciation for your commitment, passion, and dedication to the service of our country. As we adjourn, let us carry forward the lessons learned, the bonds forged, and the spirit of cooperation that defines our democratic institution. Together, we can build a brighter future for all. I thank you all. Clerk, can we proceed?
Thank you. Correction and approval of record of votes and proceedings of the National Assembly sitting of Monday, 30th March 2026.
Honorable members, the record of votes and proceedings of Monday, 30th March 2026 is before us for correction and approval. Can any honorable member please move that the said motion for the correction and approval of the records of votes proceeds? Honorable Member for Sabak Sanjal.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I rise to move that the record of votes and proceedings of the National Assembly sitting of Monday, 30th March 2026 be corrected and approved.
Thank you, Honorable Member for Sabak Sanjal. Honorable, any seconder, honorable members? Honorable Member for Lower Badibu.
Very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I rise to second the motion.
Thank you, Honorable Member for Lower Badibu. It has been moved and seconded that the record of votes and proceedings of the National Assembly sitting of Monday, 30th March 2026 be considered and approved. Honorable members, we all have copies of the said record of votes and proceedings, and as usual, we will look through it page by page, beginning with page 1, to be followed by your comments and observations. Page 1. Honorable members, we now move to page 2. Honorable members, we move to page 3. Honorable Member for Parliamentary.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. It's just a slight thing on the order paper, the record of votes rather. The pages are numbered. They are not. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member for Parliamentary. I think what we will do now is let's start again from the order, from the first one. We will number it number 1. That is where you have notice of upcoming business is the last one below. The agenda items on the paper: correction, correction and approval, and then motion. That will be number 1. Then the next page will be number 2. On top of that page is be notified that the motion, etc. And then you have the list of members who were present up to number 26. That will be number 2. The list continues on number 3, from Honorable Omar Game to 58 Honorable Gibimbalo. You've seen it. And now the next page will be numbered number 4. Number 4 would be, on top of the page is the motion was seconded by Honorable Fatou Kam. And then you have a list of members who participated in the debate up to Honorable Aliou Balde. That will be number 4. And number 5 will be the one that's on top. You have Honorable Abdoulaye Ndiaye. Down you have the debate continued. And the last name there is Honorable Suleiman Swaibu Toure. That will be number 5. And then the next page will be last page will be number 6. Have you followed? Now we go back to page 3. Any comments on page 3? All right. Honorable members, we move to page 4. All right, honorable members, we move to page 5. Honorable members, we now move to page 6. Huh? All right, sorry, on page 5, the honorable member for Sani Mentre.
Thank you again, Honorable Speaker. On page 5, where you have the motion to sit beyond 6 o'clock, where the honorable member for Brikamanot Alaji Estavo and minority leader have moved the motion for the assembly to sit beyond 6 o'clock. I think normally what we do is to complete business instead of writing the whole thing as to complete the debate on the State of the Nation Address 2026. Why not we just say, simplify it and say to complete business? Thank you.
That particular day, it was the debate on the State of the Nation Address. Yeah. Any more on page 5? Honorable members, we go to the last page, page 6. Yes, honorable member for Nyanija.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Page 6, I think the first paragraph. Let me read so that we can follow. At the invitation of the Honorable Speaker, His Excellency the Vice President stepping in for the mover. I think that's what I don't agree with, because if you looked at the Constitution, section 77(3), which reads, the Vice President shall answer in the National Assembly for matters affecting the President. I think stepping in is not appropriate as far as the constitutional provision is concerned.
Honorable, can I get your comment back again? What are you suggesting? What's your concern?
Like I said, the Vice President, as it is captured here, the Vice President stepping in for the mover of the motion. That's what I don't agree with, because the Vice President is not stepping in for the President. The Constitution provides that the Vice President shall answer to all matters affecting the President in the National Assembly. So basically, you can just put it like, at the invitation of the Honorable Speaker, His Excellency the Vice President, responded to issues and raised while in the debate and so on, but not stepping in actually.
Let's be careful what it said, that if the president is not present, the president may want to come in and then sit with us to have the debate on. And he will, it's in his absence that the vice president can come in.
If you look at the provision, it says that, let me read that again. The Vice President shall answer in the National Assembly for matters affecting the President. So it is very clear.
Yeah, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the floor. I want to agree with Member for Nyanja. Yes, I do understand that the motion was moved by the President, and is based on that, in his absence, that the Vice President come to respond to the debate. But probably it might be choice of words. We might say, on behalf of the President, or the move of the motion, the Vice President came to wind up the debate and remove the word step in. So probably it might be choice of words, but it's all mean the same thing. Yeah. I understand his point. I understand the point, because the Constitution is very clear. Vice President shall be answerable to the Parliament on all matters affecting the President. And the motion that we debated was actually moved by the President. So the Vice President came to, take the baton for the President to respond to issues as per Constitution provided by the Constitution. But then maybe it's choice of word. Like I said, choice of word. We can say he came to wind up the debate on behalf of the President.
The Constitution does not debar the President from coming to respond to his own speech. What it provides for, I think, is to, where he is not coming, and therefore the Vice President can always come in to represent the President. Honorable Member for Woolly East.
I think you've said everything. What the majority leader is saying, if the Vice President comes on behalf of the President, on behalf of the President, he is stepping in on behalf of the President. That's what is there. The Vice President stepped in on behalf of the President. That's what you want us to put there. Yes, I agree. Let's put that there. Let's put that there. The Vice President stepped in on behalf of the President. Fine. Yeah, I'm fine with that. Yeah.
Member for Old Yundum.
So, Honorable Speaker, I think it has to do with the way we're going to structure the sentence. Now, if you look at the first sentence, at the invitation of the Honorable Speaker, that is the first word. I think, on behalf of the mover of the motion, on behalf of the mover, Honorable Speaker, the Honorable Speaker invited the Vice President to respond to issues Simple, because now the mover, already we know the president is the mover of the motion. Yeah, you have mentioned that. Now you have invited the vice president to come and respond to issues. As simple as that. Without saying he stepped in. No.
I had earlier thought that he was concerned with the word mover. I was going to say, for me, I was going to say, not the mover. Where is it? He said, at the invitation of the Honorable Speaker, His Excellency, the Vice President, stepping in for the President. I was going to use the word President there. Stepping in for the President, as he quoted the Constitution. But what we are saying here is what the Honorable Majority Leader said, and what the Honorable Member for Woolly said, by pointing the two together, you are speaking the same language. Yes, Honorable Member for Upper Salon.
Yes, Speaker, we are talking about the motion that is moved by the President. In fact, if you look at the speech of the President, there was nowhere where he moved a motion. So I'm not too sure exactly what motion are we talking about here. He gave a speech, and he concluded on the speech. And at the end of the speech, he thanked everybody for coming. And in parliamentary terms, generally, when you move a motion, you should mention it, I move so and so motion. So the motion was never moved. So I think this one, we can just leave it where we go our way.
The other paper, more wrong. Other people said it.
Honorable, whether he said that or not, it's a motion. And the motion was tabled and it was seconded. Huh? Honorable members, I don't think we have Shakespeare in our midst. Let's do it the best way we think fit, that we will understand. Because if we want to go into these semantics, we'll be here until tomorrow. Everybody has his own way of seeing it. Now, what compromise do we reach to reward it? I think what about what the member for Woolly said, and in conjunction with yours? Yeah, Woolly, can you repeat it? Woolly. No, can you construct it for us? The Vice President stepping in
on behalf of the President.
Stepping in
on behalf of the President.
You remove the mover.
Yes, by your suggestion.
Okay, stepping in on behalf of the President.
Yes, more explicit.
Yes.
Continue. And responded to issues raised.
Stepping in on behalf of the President, responded to.
Yes, and responded. You have
and why and again? Stepping in on behalf of the President, responded to the issues raised.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
Then it goes.
Are we comfortable, Honorable Nyanija?
I'm okay.
Nyanija?
It's okay now, it's okay.
Honorable members, so what we have is the Vice President stepping in on behalf of the President. Stepping in on behalf of the President, responded to issues raised and one of the debate. All right, are we fine? All right, any more on page 6? I think we need to go and train some members to be specialists in the language so that they will always be guiding us. Okay. Honorable members, it has been moved and seconded that the record of votes and proceedings of the National Assembly sitting of Monday, 38 March 2026 be approved with amendments. Those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it. Clerk, may we proceed?
Thank you. Bill, Order 73, Sub 4 and 75. Third reading. The National Food Security Corporation Bill 2026 by the Honorable Minister for Environment, Climate Change and Natural Resources. Stepping in for the Honorable Minister for Agriculture, Livestock and Food Security.
Honorable members, you recall that the consideration stage of the National Food Security Corporation Bill 2026 was concluded on Tuesday, 3rd March 2026. Accordingly, today is appointed for the third reading in accordance with Order 75. I will therefore now invite the Honorable Minister for Environment, Climate Change and Natural Resources, stepping in for the Honorable Minister for Agriculture, Livestock and Food Security, to move a motion for the third reading of the bill entitled National Food Security Corporation Bill 2026. Honorable Minister.
Assalamu alaikum. Good morning, Honorable Speaker and the entire Assembly. Honorable Speaker, I move that the bill entitled the National Food Security Corporation Bill 2026, having been considered with amendments, to be read a third time and passed. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Any seconder, Honorable members? Honorable Member for Upper Newmi.
Thank you so much, Honorable Speaker. I also second the motion. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Member for Upper Newmi. Honorable members, it has been moved and seconded that the bill entitled the National Food Security Corporation Bill 2026, having gone through the consideration stage with amendments, be read a third time and passed. Those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it. Clerk.
Bill, National Food Security Corporation Bill 2026, hereby read a third time, due to have been passed.
No. Thank you, Clerk. He just read the title of the bill. The bill is deemed to have been passed now. Clerk, may we proceed?
Bill, Orders 73, Sub 4 and 75, third reading. The Civil Registration and Vital Statistics Bill 2026 by the Honorable Minister for Gender, Children and Social Welfare, stepping in for the Honorable Minister for Health.
Honorable members, you will recall that the consideration stage of the Civil Registration and Vital Statistics Bill 2026 was concluded on Tuesday, 17th March 2026. Accordingly, today is appointed for the third reading in accordance with Order 75. I will therefore now invite the Honorable Minister for Gender, Children and Social Welfare, stepping in for the Honorable Minister for Health, to move a motion for the third reading of the bill entitled Civil Registration and Vital Statistics Bill 2026. Honorable Minister.
Okay, thank you. Honorable Speaker, I move that the bill entitled the Civil Registration and Vital Statistics Bill 2026, having been considered with amendments, be read a third time and passed. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Any seconder, Honorable members? Honorable Member for Nyanija.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I rise to second the motion.
Thank you, Honorable Member for Nyaniga. Honorable members, it has been moved and seconded that the bill entitled Civil Registration and Vital Statistics Bill 2026, having gone through the consideration stage with amendments, be read a third time and passed. Those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it. Clerk, you can read the short title.
Civil Registration and Vital Statistics Bill 2026.
Thank you, Clerk. Honorable members, the bill is deemed to have been passed. Clerk, may we proceed?
Bill Order 73, Sub 4 and 75, third reading. The National Climate Change Bill 2026 by the Honorable Minister for Environment, Climate Change and Natural Resources.
Honorable members, you will recall that the consideration stage of the National Climate Change Bill 2026 was concluded on Monday, 16th March 2026. Accordingly, today is appointed for the third reading in accordance with Order 75. Therefore, I will now invite the Honorable Minister for Environment, Climate Change and Natural Resources to move a motion for the third reading of the bill entitled National Climate Change Bill 2026. Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I move that the bill entitled the Gambia Integrated, I move that the bill entitled the National Climate Change Bill 2026, having been considered with amendment, be read a third time and passed.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Any seconder, honorable members? Honorable Member for Banjul Central.
Seconded, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Member for Banjul Central. Honorable members, it has been moved and seconded that the bill entitled National Climate Change Bill 2026, having gone through the consideration stage with amendments, be read a third time and passed. Those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it. Clerk, read the short title.
Bill, National Climate Change Bill 2026, deemed to have been read a third time and passed.
Thank you, Clerk. Honorable members, the bill is deemed to have been passed now. Clerk, may we proceed?
Thank you. Bill, Order 73, Sub 4 and 75, third reading. The Gambia Integrated Coastal Zone Management Bill 2026 by the Honorable Minister for Environment, Climate Change and Natural Resources.
Honorable members, you will recall that the consideration stage of the Gambia Integrated Coastal Zone Management Bill 2026 was concluded on Monday, 9th March 2026. Accordingly, today is appointed for the third reading in accordance with Order 75. Therefore, I will now invite the Honorable Minister for Environment, Climate Change and Natural Resources to move a motion for the third reading of the bill entitled the Gambia Integrated Coastal Zone Management Bill 2026. Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I move that the bill entitled the Gambia Integrated Coastal Zone Management Bill 2026, having been considered with amendments, be read a third time and passed. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Any seconder, honorable members? Honorable Member for Woolly East.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I rise to second the motion. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Member for Woolly East. Honorable members, it has been moved and seconded that the bill entitled the Gambia Integrated Coastal Zone Management Bill 2026, having gone through the consideration stage with amendments, be read a third time and passed. Those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it. Clerk, may we proceed?
Thank you. Bill, the Gambia Integrated Coastal Zone Management Bill 2026, deemed to have been read at that time and passed.
Thank you, honorable members. The bill is deemed to have passed.
Motion.
Member for Upper Salum.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I rise to move a motion without notice based on clause 68 of the standing orders, which is called committal of a bill to a committee. In subclause 3, it says, well, I have to read clause 1 to be able to get it. So when a bill has been read a second time, it shall stand referred to the Assembly Business Committee for committal to a committee. 2 says no later than 3 working days after the conclusion of the second reading, the Assembly Business Committee on a motion without notice shall commit a bill so referred detailed investigation and report by A, select or standing committee, B, a committee of the whole assembly. The question thereon shall be put forward and undecided without amendment. 3 clear working days after the conclusion of the second reading having elapsed and the Assembly Business Committee not having moved a motion for the committal of a bill referred to it, the person in charge of the bill so referred or any member may move a motion without notice for the committal of that bill to a committee for detailed investigation and report. The question thereon shall be put forward. So on this particular clause, I stand to move that the bill titled Communication Bill of 2025 be referred to the Committee of Education, Training and ICT for further investigation.
Honorable member for Upper Salum. You want us to make it all saloons? Okay. Lower Salum.
Upper Salum, in order. Thank you. I rise to second the motion.
Thank you very much, honorable member for Lower Salum. Honorable members, as per clause 7, clause 68. As per clause 68, 3 of our standing orders, the honorable member for Upper Salum moved a motion and was seconded that the bill entitled Communication Bill 2025 be committed to the Committee of, which committee did you say? Education, ICT, and Training. Those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, say no. The ayes have it. So the bill entitled the Communication Bill 2025 is hereby committed to the Education Committee for consideration. Honorable members, let's proceed. Clerk, may we proceed?
Motion. Order 51, sub 1. Motion on the adjournment debate. Be it resolved that this August Assembly do stand adjourned, signed, die by the Honorable Majority Leader and Member for Kantora.
Honorable members, in accordance with the provisions of Orders 13.5 and 54.1 of the standing orders, I will now allow the Honorable Majority Leader and Member for Kantora to move the motion for the Assembly to adjourn, sign, die. But before doing so, I wish to draw the attention of the Assembly to Order 54.3 of the standing orders. Honorable members, okay. which reads, and I quote, "During the debate on the motion on the adjournment debate of a session, no honorable member shall speak for more than 15 minutes, except that the speaker may, at his or her discretion, allow the mover of the motion extra time for his or her reply. I will therefore appeal to honorable members to take note of the said provisions of the standing orders regarding the adjournment debate. And honorable members, the adjournment debate is scheduled for only today, meaning we are to start and finish today. And the stipulated time for the adjournment debate is a maximum of 15 minutes. May I now invite the Honorable Majority Leader and Member for Kantora to move the motion for this Assembly to adjourn sign die. Honorable Majority Leader.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the floor. Honorable Speaker, as per the agenda and calendar of this August Assembly, from the period 2nd March to today, 4th April 2026, that the Assembly adjourns and pursuant to Section 98(1) sub B of the 1997 Constitution, and in accordance with Orders 13(5) and 54 subclause 1 of the Standing Orders 2019. Honorable Speaker, throughout the deliberation of this Assembly during the first ordinary session, the Assembly considered and adopted records of votes and proceedings of its daily sittings as required by Order 35 of the Standing Orders. Honorable Speaker, in fulfillment of Order 48 and 48 and 94 of the Standing Orders, the Honorable Minister for Finance and Economic Affairs delivered a statement to the Assembly on implementation and monitoring of the annual budget. I invite the Assembly to take note of that oral questions were administered to His Excellency the Vice President and Honorable Ministers in accordance with Order 41 as it relates to their respective portfolios. In particular, notice of the appearance of the following members of the Cabinet hereby as follows. His Excellency the Vice President, Honorable Minister of Finance and Economic Affairs, Honorable Minister for Environment, Climate Change, and Natural Resources, Honorable Minister for Basic and Secondary Education, Honorable Minister for Tourism, Arts and Culture, Honorable Minister for Interior, Honorable Minister for Lands, Regional Government, and Religious Affairs, Honorable Minister for Health, Honorable Minister for Transport, Works and Infrastructure, Honorable Minister for Petroleum and Energy, Honorable Minister for Agriculture, Livestock and Food Security, the Honorable Minister for Foreign Affairs, International Cooperation and Gambians Abroad, Honorable Minister for Defense, and lastly, Honorable Minister for Fisheries and Water Resources. Honorable Speaker, the Assembly also considered statement delivered by Honorable Member for Fonyi Kansala on the cross-border conflicts, internet displacement, and protection of Gambian sovereignty in Fonyi border community on the matter of the day, pursuant to Order 51 of the Standing Orders. The statement was delivered and deliberated by honorable members in accordance with Clause 51, Subclause 7 of the Standing Orders. Honorable Speaker, in compliance with Order 100 Standing Orders, the undermentioned honorable ministers formally presented responses to respective parliamentary reports adopted by the National Assembly as follows. Minister reply on report of Joint Committee on Environment, and Agriculture probe into the activity of transhuman in the Gambia by the Honorable Minister for Environment, Climate Change and Natural Resources and Honorable Minister for Interior. Ministers reply on report and resolution of the National Assembly Petition Committee on petition from concerned staff of the Gambia Tourism Board by the Minister for Tourism, Arts and Culture. Honorable Speaker, honorable members, as regard to bill, I call to remind this Assembly to take notice that the following bills were considered and or passed during this session. National Security Council Amendment Bill 2026 by His Excellency, the Vice President of the Republic. Intellectual Property Bill 2025 by the Honorable Attorney General and Minister for Justice. The Gambia Integrated Coastal Zone Management Bill by Honorable Minister for Environment, Climate Change and Natural Resources. The Gambia National Climate Change Bill 2025 by the Honorable Minister for Environment, Climate Change and Natural Resources. Civil Registration and Vital Statistics Bill 2026 by the Honorable Minister for Health. National Food Security Corporation Bill 2025 by the Honorable Minister for Agriculture, Livestock and Food Security. The Gambia Investment and Export Promotion Agency Amendment Bill 2025 by the Honorable Minister for Trade, Industry, Regional Integration and Employment. Honorable Speaker, honorable members, the following reports of under-mentioned parliamentary committees were considered and adopted. Report of Joint Committee on Public Accounts Standing Committee on Human Rights on Prerogative of Mercy Bill 2025 by the co-chairperson of the Joint Committee. Report on Select Committee on Agriculture Study Tour visit to Sonaco's granule processing factories in Senegal by the Vice Chair of the Committee. Report on Select Committee on Regional Government Lands, Ombudsman and IEC on committee visit to the Parliament of the Republic of Senegal by the chairperson of the committee. Report on Select Committee on Environment, Sustainable Development and NGO Affairs and National Environment Management Bill by the Vice Chair of the committee. Report on Select Committee on Environment, Sustainable Development and NGO Affairs on the Gambia Integrated Coastal Zone Management Bill 2025 by the Vice Chair of the committee. Report on Select Committee on Environment, Sustainable Development and NGO Affairs on Waste Management Bill 2025 by the Vice Chair of the committee. And report on Select Committee on Environment, Sustainable Development and NGO Affairs on the Gambia National Climate Change Bill 2025 by the Vice Chair of the committee. Report Select Committee on Monitoring Government Projects, oversight visits to selected project sites across the country, April to May 2025 by the chairperson of the committee. Honorable Speaker, honorable members, special recognition registered with the tabling and unanimous adoption of the reports of the Select Committee, Special Select Committee of the National Assembly established to inquire into the sales and disposal of the assets identified by the Commission of Inquiry into the financial activities of public bodies, enterprises, and offices as regards to the dealing with former President Yahya AJJ Jammeh and connected matters by the chairperson of the Special Committee. It surely reflects the Assembly's fidelity to the will of people committed, and commitment to accountability, and manifest a solid check and balance on government. Honorable Speaker, during the course of the session, this August Assembly received and deliberated upon and or duly adopted the following motion. 1. Pursuant to Section 100, Subclause 1 of the 1997 Constitution, motion to consider, reaffirm the Assembly's commitment to one China policy by Honorable Seni Jawara, member for Lower Salo. Pursuant to Section 100, Subclause 1 of the 1997 Constitution, the motion to adopt the motion for restitution of the Gambian artifacts and sacred heritage removed during colonial rule with special attention to Sali Kenya Village by Honorable Suleiman Saho, member for Central Badibu and Minority Chief Whip. Pursuant to Section 79, Sub C and Subclause 1 of the 1997 Constitution, motion to consider and ratify the Gambian membership to African Mineral Strategy Group, AMSG, by the Honorable Minister for Petroleum and Energy. Pursuant to Section 77, Subclause 1 of the 1997 Constitution and Order 24, Subclause 1 of the Standing Orders, motion on a State of Nation Address 2026 by His Excellency, the President of the Republic. Pursuant to Section 77, Sub 3 of the 1997 Constitution, debate on the State of the Nation Address 2026 by His Excellency, the Vice President of the Republic. And today, Honorable Speaker, pursuant to Orders 13, Sub 5, and Orders 54, Sub 1 of the Standing Orders, these present motion on the adjournment debate that this August Assembly to stand adjourned, sign and die. Honorable Speaker, honorable members of Parliament, as we conclude this fruitful session, it is an opportunity time on behalf of both half of the Assembly to reflect on course of this Assembly, especially in its commitment to serve the nation. I thank all honorable members for their dedication to duty, especially their unshaken spirits to serve their electorates, ever ready to engage in dialogue and selfless contribution. It is worthy to assure all people of this country that the Assembly remains resilient and will continue to effectively dispense its constitutional mandate and advance better strategies to ensure genuine scrutiny is always achieved in all sectors of our governance. Honorable Speaker, honorable members of Parliament, nation building is a responsibility of everyone, and even when we disagree, we must still fulfill the mandate bestowed on us by working together and putting the country first. In this same vein, I wish to continue urging all politicians, especially various political leaders, including all of us in this August Assembly, to continue the approach of this election year with thoughtfulness and deep sense of responsibility towards our beloved country. I call on every one of us to remain diligent and well-guided in our exchange and especially in our utterances. As many times, discussion and reiterates with a spirit of peace and civil engagement, debate, and cooperation, all things are within reach. Honorable Speaker, as we adjourn today, I wish to reassure our citizens that all matters raised and businesses considered in this Assembly are done in the best interest of every citizen of the country as a whole. Honorable Speaker, on behalf of both sides of the Assembly, I seek the pleasure to express our honest appreciation to you for the firm, fair, and deep sincerity in which you have presided over the proceedings of this Assembly throughout the session. We extend the same appreciation to Honorable Deputy Speaker for his noble role to support rendered in your absence. I also wish to recognize and appreciate the Clerk of National Assembly, his deputies, table office, and the entire staff of National Assembly service for their professionalism, attentiveness, and unwavering support to all members of Parliament in the execution of the legislative oversight responsibilities. Honorable Speaker, honorable members of Parliament, as per Section 98, Sub 1 and B of the 1997 Constitution, and in accordance with Orders 13, Sub 5 of our standing orders, and 54, Sub 1 of the Standing Order 2019, I therefore beg to move that this August Assembly to adjourn, sign.
Any seconder? The member for Nyanija.
Honorable Speaker, thank you very much. I rise to second the motion, but I also want to take the opportunity to take part in the debate. But before doing so, by consensus, I just want to move that we limit the time for each member to 7 minutes.
That's what 7 minutes.
For the honorable members, the honorable member for Nyanija moved a motion for members to limit the debate to 7 minutes, including himself. Any seconder? Member for Olyundum and Deputy Majority Leader.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I second the motion.
Honorable members, it has been moved and seconded that this assembly limit the debate per member to 7 minutes, including the mover of the motion, that's the seconder. Those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, please say no.
No.
The noes have it. There is division called for by one of the members. Honorable members.
Chair.
Member for Nyanija.
Before we go into voting, I think, let me amend my motion. Instead of 7 minutes, let's make it 10 minutes.
Honorable members.
No, Honorable Speaker. No, Honorable Speaker. No. No, Honorable Speaker. No.
Order, honorable members, order, honorable members. Honorable members, order, please. Order, honorable members, order, please. No, honorable members, order. Honorable members, we voted on the motion prior to its amendment, so therefore, that motion cannot be amended again. We only need a fresh motion. Remember for Nyanija, yes?
Yes, you are right. Thank you very much. Then let me move another motion that we limit the time.
No.
Of course.
No.
Allow me, please.
No.
I move that.
No.
I move that we limit the time to 10 minutes, including my humble self.
Honorable members, wait. Honorable member. Order. You know, one of the members, order. Honorable members, one of the members from this end on my right called for division. So we have not exhausted that process. Let's exhaust that process. Honorable members, order. Those in favor of the motion to limit the debate to 7 minutes, please raise your tags. 7 minutes, raise your tag. Those not in favor for us to limit the motion to 7 minutes. Those abstaining, abstention. Those abstaining, order, honorable members from Spakala and Lower Salo. Honorable members, the results. Ayes 6, noes 25, abstention 0. The motion is lost. Yes, Member Nyanija.
Thank you. Still on the procedure, before I continue on my intervention, I move that again we limit the time to 10 minutes. No, that was lost. I'm right.
No, it's lost.
Honorable members, any seconder? The member for Sabah Sanjal.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I rise to second the motion.
Honorable members, it has been moved and seconded that we limit the time for debate on the adjournment to 10 minutes. Those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it. Division. Honorable members, there is division. called by the member for Jimara. Order. Order, honorable members. He is within his rights. Order, honorable members, order, please. Honorable member, order. Even you by disturb, you are distracting and disturbing. You. Honorable members, order. Those in favor of the motion to limit time of debate to 10 minutes per member, raise your tags. Honorable members, those in favor for 10 minutes, please raise your tags. Raise your tags. They have not finished counting, please. They have not finished counting. Raise your tags, please. Those against the motion, raise your tags, please. Those against, I think, Majority Leader, you should tell member for Olyundum, this is Bantaba in Olyundum. Those against the motion, raise your tags. Those abstaining, abstention, 2. Abstention 2. Honorable members, the results. Ayes 25, noes 2, and abstention 2. The ayes have it. Honorable members, thank you. On your behalf, I want to welcome His Excellency, the Vice President, Mr. Mohamed B.S. Jallow, alongside Cabinet Ministers that of Basic and Secondary Education, Environment and Climate Change, Trade and Industry, and as well as Communication and Digital Economy, and of course, technicians. So you are most welcome. The Honorable Member for Nyanija, please continue.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. And I also equally want to thank you, the Office of the Speaker and that of the Office of the Clerk, and of course the entire leadership of Parliament, majority and minority. And also want to welcome the Vice President and members of the Executive, the various ministers present here. Honorable Speaker, it is adjournment debate, but first I will start with national issues, then go specific to my constituency. First of all, we've just witnessed last week the State of the Nation address delivered by His Excellency the President, which was very detailed and of course with a lot of rich text in it and a lot of positive outputs as far as the government is concerned. Because for us in Nyanija and of course other parts of the country, we are living witness, and we can testify to the fact that this government is here for the people, and of course it is by the people, but it is here for the people. Because if you looked at the state of the Gambia today, and yesterday, and even before yesterday, there are noticeable differences. These are facts. No matter how much probably you don't want to support the government or you don't support this government, but this government have proven beyond reasonable doubt that it is here for the people, because it is delivering for the people. You see, if you go to Nyanija today, and I can tell you it's a fact, and for those who normally frequent Nyanija, if you go there, just go to Bantaba and tell them, let me say it in full with your permission, Honorable Speaker. With your permission, if you go to any Bantaba and tell them, Lamu Adam Baro wana haidara, Nguri Adam Baro nekudara. If you are not careful, you will not leave Nyanija alive. I can tell you. Because the reasons are there, physical. There have been the first regime here of course, the second regime, but Nyanija started realizing what we call government in the government of ADAMA Barrow.
That's right.
If you go to the entire communities, you see electricity. Talk less of the roads. Of course, if you go to health, the health center is coming. If you go to education, starting from Chairman, you go to Palele, you go to Buduk, you go to Sinju Alsan, you go to Mbayan Burama, you go to Jailan Bagadaji. All these are new structures. And this is something which we've been yearning for. We've never had. You see, in 2017, when the president went there, and in his speech, I quote, he said, I was even lost entering here. I thought I am going to the cattle, because the moment you enter Nyanija, the only thing you will be saying is cow dung, cow dung, cow dung. But today, if you go, you don't see cow dung, you will see what they call godrong. You will see godrong and you will see electric poles. So we are very thankful to this government. This government is here for the people, and that is a fact. So, Honorable Speaker, moving on to peace and security. In his address, he mentioned that, in his address, if you look at paragraph 142, he mentioned that election is coming, and it is the responsibility of every Gambian, especially us as members of parliament, to make sure we preach peace, we nurture peace. We might have our political differences, but that doesn't mean that we should incite violence or instigate people to antagonize people and so on. That is not the fact. That's not election. Because we all know what we've done to be here. Hadn't been the way of violence, none of us will be here. So let us preach peace and make sure we observe this election in peace, and the winner, as we know, is already known. It is a fact. So let us campaign in peace and do the election in peace, and the winner will continue to be the winner. Honorable Speaker, moving on to Nyanija, as I said, I just mentioned briefly, we have a road and we are thankful. But there are just few roads which you know that we need to be adjusted. The road starting from Chairman going via Palele, you go to Buduk. That stretch is something which you know that we are definitely interested in. And you know, if you have nothing, you will want to have something. But if you have something, you will want to have something more. So that's the situation where we are now. We need the road to be that like the main road, and of course from Nyanga Bantang to Jailan Bakadaji. That road is also very important because we have very important communities inside. So these two roads, these are the roads that we need, and we need the attention of the government on that. So, Excellency, the Vice President, please take note that we need these roads. Once we have it, if you have any tar road or any road project, please don't even consider Nyanya anymore. Because once we have it, we are okay. On the side of electricity, I wouldn't comment because we have some few villages, including my own village. I am always proud to say that, including my own village, which is not yet electrified. But we have already seen the tenders are going on, everything is going on. So before the end of 2026, everybody, there will be universal access for electricity in the Gambia. And that is a fact, everybody knows that. We will be among the first countries in Africa to have universal access to electricity. So I think that is a big plus to the government. So, Honorable Speaker, moving on to education. This one I have to make a special emphasis. I want to thank the Ministry for Basic and Secondary Education, and of course the Ministry for Higher Education. These are two ministers who are very exceptional and very proactive and pragmatic in their ways of dealing with their ministry issues. You always see them visiting schools, making sure that actually the policies they have in place at the level of the ministry is what is being implemented at the grassroots level. So, Honorable Ministers, we want to thank you. Please keep it up. Keep it up. We want ministers like you and, of course, like all other ministers, but this is a special thank because this is the area I'm talking about. And, of course, the Ministry of Higher Education is also somebody who is very exceptional. Today, if you go to the university, some of us who are pursuing some courses at the university, majority of the students there are on scholarship. Majority of the students there are on scholarship. And this is all done by the proactiveness of this minister and, of course, the government by far. So we want to thank you. Please keep it up and be assured of our support as far as the National Assembly is concerned. So, Honorable Speaker, the last but not the least, which I will talk about is our faros, Nyanija faros. This is something which that we always talked about. And since 2017, it's the same issue that we've been talking about. We understand there are many agricultural projects which that they are focusing on rice irrigation, rice cultivation, and so on. But our case is a special issue because it is not like an upland rice cultivation where you will do irrigation and so on. These are furrow, swampy areas. So the only thing we need is not like you demarcate it or whatever. The only thing we need is access road. I know it is difficult, it might be expensive and so on, but it's access road to these furrows. You see, from where the swamp start up to the river, it's all water. So now if you have your piece of land around the river, to access that is a problem. And you see women crossing lakes, you see them crossing even some like deep waters to access those furrows. So it's something which that we beg on the government to consider that. And I don't know how it can be done, but I know it certainly it can be done in one way or the other. But actually, it is a different whole case scenario as this upland irrigation is happening. So it is something which we are very, very interested in because we have furrows ranging from Chairman down to Jailan Bagadaji. Each community have their own furrows, but they have routes, not actually single routes, but there are main routes. Once these routes are made motorable, and actually we don't need these good roads to access these furrows. It's just simple roads, whereas you will put maybe gravel for people to walk in on and use their donkey carts or horse carts to be going to the forest, not actually vehicles and so on. So, Honorable Speaker, these are the issues that I have. I also want to reiterate and thank the Office of the Speaker, Office of the Clerk, Majority and Minority Leader, and all members. Let's keep up the spirit. We are in an election year. Like I said, let's not antagonize each other. We are colleagues, and we will continue to campaign. We will continue to sell the agendas of our various political ideologies. But inshallah, we all know, and the facts are there. Come December, we all know what will happen. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Member for Nyanija. Honorable members, it has been moved and seconded that this assembly do consider the motion for this ordinary session to stand adjourned, signed die. Those in favor, please say aye. Honorable members, those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it. Honorable members, any member who wishes to take part in the debate may do so by show of thanks, and of course, many of you made it on my list. In fact, we have forests of you here. Now we'll begin the debate with the member for Chokadu.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the floor. Let me first of all welcome the Vice President and all the other Honorable Cabinet Ministers here in present. Honorable Speaker, I fully concur with the previous speaker, that is the member for Nyanija, that let's begin now the celebration. Come December 5th, inshallah, His Excellency President ADAMA BARROW will be back to State House because the facts are already there, as he highlighted. The developments that His Excellency and his government are currently embarked on within the length and breadth of this country is something that we are all seeing. These are facts that are not hidden. As we are speaking now, he is currently touring the country. Doing what? Laying foundation stones to construct roads for the people of this country. And those roads were so bad, they were unmotorable, especially during the rainy season. But currently, these 204 kilometers roads are all roads that are going to connect communities and farms, so that when people harvest their produce, they will plow these roads easily and then they get to markets or back to their homes without any difficulty. When it comes to the electricity, as the member Punyanija highlighted, more than 90% of Gambian communities are now on electricity, which is something that is very commendable. Honestly, is very commendable, honorable. We are not even thinking about it now, but thanks to His Excellency, the President, and his innovation, this dream has become true. And inshallah, the rest also, they are on the pipeline. It is going to be 100% before end of this year, inshallah. Honorable Speaker, all the sectors, they are progressing in all the sectors. So this government, I think we should all rally behind this government to see that this Gambia moves forward. Honorable Speaker, when it comes to roads, just recently in Jokadu, the road linking Kuntaya, Ker Amadou, and Ker Omar Sen is under construction. But I'm still appealing to the Honorable Minister of Works that there is another very important road in the northern part of Lower Nyomi connecting to Jokadu, just like the Hakalang road that connects the southern part of Upper Nyomi and Jokadu. This road starts from Fas Njagachoy. It went to Kirjane, then to Bali Mandinka, and then it connects the main highway at Daslame. It's a very important road connection, which in the late 80s and early 90s, we were even having a bus service in that route. But because of it is dilapidated now, it is unmotorable, all those opportunities have stopped. And I'm appealing to the Honorable Minister so that the anticipated 700 kilometers road that need to be constructed in the country, for him to at least consider that very important road for us. Honorable Speaker, health also in my area, since independence, we were having only one health center in Puntaya. And so the communities that are in the interior were finding it very difficult for them to access to health services. But thanks to the government and the Minister of Health, we have another health facility, very modern one, in a community called Kisemajao. So now the interior also are lucky now because the communities are not very far. All those communities around that end are not very far from Kisemajao, so they can access Kisemajao easily. So that's a very big plus for us. And then there's another anticipated also health post that needs to be constructed in Medina Mudum called Bantanding Olof. Now I'm just appealing to the Honorable Minister also so that they can fast track. And then we see that that health post also is constructed. Now, when it comes to safe, clean drinking water, there are community boreholes that were dug from under the Minister of Fisheries. But in my area, there are boreholes that are already dug, but still now the work is not completed. So I want the Honorable Minister to take note so that those boreholes can be completed now. Honorable Speaker, when it comes to security, I have a post in Kuntaya. There's another one also in Kirjane, but there is another community in the far end of the other side called Kel Araji Malik. So I'm appealing to the Interior Minister so that that place also can have a very good security post, because we are at the border, and then this theft is normally happening. But if those two communities at the borderline have this security post, I think it will reduce so many risks. So I want the Honorable Minister for Interior also to take note of that. So on that note, Honorable Speaker, I thank you very much for giving me the floor. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Member for Jokadu. I now give the floor to the member for Upper Salom.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. And thank you very much, His Excellency, the Vice President, and all the cabinet ministers and their technicians for coming to us this morning to listen to some of the issues that we intend to raise that is concerning our own people, our constituency, and also the Gambia at large. Honorable Speaker, I will start first with the issue of access roads in Upper Salom. And some efforts have been made, tremendous efforts, because the longest road that was never done since God created earth, from Kerjibi all the way to Nyanija, through Chairman, Deputy Speaker's own place, we want to say thank God, this current government actually has fixed that road, which is almost over 30 kilometers. And if you live in that area, politics aside, sentiments aside, you'll really understand how the people actually suffered since Gambia, God created Gambia. You have a stretch that goes close to over 50 villages, from Upper Salom, connecting Nyanija and connecting Nyani. And everything that you see is not even these red stones. Everything is just sand. And the worst is when it rains. But now, we feel very comfortable to pass through because the road is constructed, the waterways actually are fixed. So we want to say thank you. Now, you know, even Allah teaches us, when I provide something for you good, thank me so that I can provide more. And I'm here to stand to say that thank you to the government of the Gambia for providing such to our people. And let's be very careful, Honorable Speaker. You know, when you say that they said no, it's their responsibility because it's public funds. Even a small child understands that. But the issue is this. There are different priorities of government. Government cannot do every single thing in every corner of the Gambia. It's impossible. But when there's a priority in your area, I think it makes a lot of sense to say thank you. We are not thanking you because of you take money from your pocket. No. But because of you put priority in my own area. You put priority in my own people. That's what we are thanking. The money belongs to all of us. But can the money be provided to every person, every corner of this country? The answer is no. So this is exactly where prioritization comes in. And even our own self, in our own homes, we prioritize. We can provide everything for our families. So we prioritize. So when you prioritize something, I think it makes a lot of sense to say thank you for the person that actually has done that. Now, when this road was constructed, Honorable Speaker, at the time we were made to understand that some access road also would be provided. And in fact, I made that personal call and I was informed at the time that there will be some access roads to provide, like these are some at 2 kilometers, to some at 3 kilometers, to come and join on the road. But that's yet to be done. And I want to call the Minister of Transport to take note of an access road from Kerjibi going to Jareng Ablaili, from Kerjibi going to Mayan, from Kerjibi going to Mbambar and Kenya. Because even though the road is constructed, but access to those villages is an issue until today. So let's work to support them to ensure that actually everything is actually inclusive. Because to get to the road is still a problem, but the majority of them actually are on it. The second aspect of access to roads, Honorable Speaker, is the issue of access to rice fields. You know, when people say that the fresh water is everywhere in the Gambia, sometimes I said maybe you have not gone across every part of the Gambia. In the side of Upper Salom, it will take you some kilometers to get access. So what we have is salt water, salt intrusion. That's what we have. And that's the reason why during the dry season, we cannot do any rice farming because of the salt intrusion. Right now, if you go on the river banks, you see trees actually dying. Why? Because of the salt intrusion. So our women and our men, they have to actually cross to travel almost 3 to 5 kilometers to be able to have access to that clean, to that fresh water so they can do farming. And it's very difficult. And you see some videos circulating a few years ago, that's exactly what's happening in Upper Salma as well. So what we are saying is, help us with access to the fresh water, and we'll do the work. We are not asking for anything else. Do the roads for us, and we'll do the work. And to do that, Honorable Speaker, you look at access roads from Jareng. They have a lot of furrows from Fardu, from Dukuru, they have them. But it takes only like 3 kilometers. But to go there, it's a big issue. Then you go to Bantanto as well. You go to Pakalawaf, it's the same thing. You go to Dandasela, same thing. From 3 to 5 kilometers. That is the only issue we have. Give us access, we go do the work. And you go to Bati also, the forest going to Hansiro, about 5 kilometers. That's all we're asking for. And I want to urge the Minister of Agriculture to take a look at that area. I will be personally going there myself to make an official handing over of those areas. Go and check. Help our people and help the nation. If you do that, we don't need to buy. Honorable Speaker, to move on, you know our area, with all economic indicators, the Saloms, the Nyanijas, you know, we know they were always at the back on all economic indicators, from water, from electricity, road network, you name it. But there's tremendous improvement. I also want to thank here, Honorable Speaker, the Minister of Water Resources for the tremendous efforts they have done to supply water in our area. Now, if I count on top of my head, I can give you 34 different communities where government intervention has gone there in water supply. That tells you a lot. Out of 83 villages, the past 3-4 years, government actually has intervened in more than 35 different communities. From the government intervention, from the ministry, from the CDF, from His Excellency ADAMA himself, from Honorable Ahmad Ba, and from myself. We've covered more than 35 different communities. But yet still we have a gap. And that's the reason why we say when somebody does good, you say it. I've not seen the minister here, but I just want to say thank you. Both the previous and the current minister. The intervention is very good. Even though we have gaps, and I understand the government cannot provide for everybody. I do understand that. But we also still have gaps in that area, and I will share those gaps with the ministry so they can also intervene in those particular areas. Honorable Speaker, what I would also suggest in that area in water, I would suggest that, I know it's difficult, but I think there needs to be a proper mapping of the water issues across the country. And let's see what we can do together. Minister of Finance, Minister of Water Resources, and the Parliament to see how can we close these gaps. When you do the mapping, you'll be able to do costing. How much is it going to cost to cover? Just like what we are doing in the road network right now. We are using our own money to construct roads most of the time. So let's do the same thing for water. Let's map it. Let's understand how much it costs for that to happen, and then we'll do our best to do that. And the last intervention, Honorable Speaker, I have is about the issue of the National Roads Authority, created by an act of parliament in 2002, 2003, thereabout. And the only thing they ask them to do, for the most part, is road maintenance, etc. Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, by my own estimates, for the past 5 or 6 years, the amount of money that the government of the Gambia actually has spent in road construction is over 10 billion. And most of this 10 billion is given to non-Gambian companies. I said this a few years ago, and I'm going to repeat this again. We must like ourselves. If you're going to take 10 billion and give it to a foreign company, they will do the work, but most of that money, I can tell you 80 to 90% of the money will be funneled outside the Gambia. And to do that, you need dollars. To do that, you need euros. To do that, you need pounds sterling. And that would cost a strain on our own dollars. Let's equip our own institutions. You know, in many countries, you have the Army Corps of Engineers. You have the police engineers. But why can't we see what we can do together? National Roads Authority, the police, the army. Let's create something and give them our own money to construct. In that case, whatever we're going to pay is going to be in dollars. And that would cause less strain on our dollars. All this money we are paying to non-Gambian companies, you know, I don't hate anybody. I don't hate any company. But I love Gambia more than anywhere. I love my country more than any other country in this world. And that's why I'm saying we need to reflect and take a look at the activities of the National Roads Authority. Let's equip them. Let's equip the army. Let's equip the police. We have engineers. In fact, let's equip even USET, that's GTDI. They are producing backware. There's lot they can do together. Why can't we provide them with the finances? If we have to change the laws, please, let's change the laws. Both the NRA Act and the GPB Act, if we have to change, let's change it. Let's support our Gambia, because there is no place better than your own. Thank you very much.
The member for Upper Salum, thank you very much. I now recognize the member for Joshua. Joshua, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, first of all, I will thank the head of state on his State of National address, and also the office of the Speaker, Deputy Speaker, both the clerk and the support staff of the National Assembly for a job well done during this session. Honorable Speaker, thank you very much to the Vice President and then his line of his ministers for always answering to our call. First of all, Honorable Speaker, I talk about peace because we're talking about development, and development cannot go without peace. So I'm appealing to all of us to maintain peace, preach peace, and discuss peace in any level that we are, because this year is 2026, and it's election year. And we know in election year, everything comes across. People are angry, people go beyond their lines. People act as jollers, some act as foolers. Let's come down with our tempers and know that it's only one day. We'll discuss. We have a day to go. It's only a single day. That's the end. So let's preach peace and discuss peace so that this development can continue. Honorable Speaker, coming to my area in Joshua, we thank the government of the day for providing us with roads. Thank you very much, but we still need more. Honorable Speaker, there are many critical roads in those areas. You look at the Sankosla road, it's very critical, and it connects Sankosla inside the New Zone area that's lead to Ibo Town, to Talinding, and then to Abuko, the concrete roads. Those roads are very key. You go to Babung Fati roads, it's also very key. These are close that definitely we need government to take their stand and see what they can do to make sure that these approved roads that are coming up for KMC, they are also part of it. Honorable Speaker, on the same issue of roads, there is a road in Kanifing South that's linked the so-called backway, the backway road that is around Ogaman Street. That road is very important also, Honorable Speaker, because it's been used by many private vehicles that are going to Bakau. That road is very key in Kanifing South, and also the roads that is between the Kanifing South main mosque that goes to the Karava Avenue. These are also roads that need to be fixed within that area. And also you come to pipeline. There's a road at the pipeline near the French High School, behind the French High School. From that road that goes to the main highway of pipeline, it's a cause of concern that government, we are appealing to government, when they are doing the approval, let them also put these roads part of their previous study, and then so that it can be part of the ongoing roads that also happen in these coming years. Honorable Speaker, Kanifing layout also, there's a road around the Construct Road that leads to Bowen Clinic. That also is very important. So we are also appealing to government to see what they can do on that road. Coming to the Kanifing, the old Joshua. Also look at the road that's linked between Kanifing Estate and Joshua, behind GCI. Currently, the road is not in a good state, and government needs to take action and then see how best they can also help us to take care of that road. The Kanifing Estate also, the C and D block, that road that's between the D block linking the C block, it's a cause of concern. It has been there for years. It is still the same road, just like the road in Nyanija. Those roads in Nyanija, they call, that's linked, those roads that link Nyanija and then Chairman, those roads before the current roads, that road is still like that, and the Kanifing Estate is next to the capital. So I'm hoping to that, instead of Nyanija, let's go back to Kanifing Estate. Honorable Speaker, I think I have to discuss about this wetland issue here. The Minister is here and the Vice President is also here. Roads are built in Kanifing, in Joshua constituency. You can see Ibo Town, New Joshua, those areas are developed. There are a lot of roads that are built there that are constructed in that area. But the wetland is a concern. There was a time I went there with the Vice President and also the Minister. We went there together to look at the situation that was on the ground. But Honorable Speaker, the situation still remains the same, if it's getting worse. People are still dumping, people are still building buildings. They will fill those buildings with waste materials, and next the land with waste materials, and then they start construction. And use of that areas have been fighting every day. There's a development, there's an association in Joshua that is called Youth Development Association in Botown. They are doing a very good job, but every day they are fighting with neighbors that are doing it deliberately. They will go outside, bring in waste materials and dump in the riverside and then start doing construction. The minister was there, we went there, they were warned. But up till now, there is no stop. So I think government should take a stand now. And then these coming rains, as far as these roads are built, these roads are constructed. They are constructed already. What are we expecting? We might expect a lot of what? Flooding. Because the roads are already okay. So next mean, what is this water leading to? It's leading to the river. And if those rivers are blocked, it bounces back again and comes back to the community. And then people start complaining that the road that was given to us is not good because it's not to our advantage. We have started realizing flooding. So steps need to be taken. Let's do the needful. This wetland area from Old Joshua linking to Ebota and New Joshua, it is getting worse. People are still constructing and they don't care. And most of these people are not Gambian, they are foreigners. So Honorable Minister, Honorable Vice President, please I'm appealing to you with the government to take a stand. And we go back there again and do the needful. I mean, at times we compromise. When we were there, we were threatened. I was there with Honorable Minister, my wife. We were threatened that they are not going to vote for us. But it was very clear. If you want to vote, you vote. But let's do what is right. We cannot threaten us with votes. But if at all you are affected tomorrow, we'll be called again to say we are not being cared for. So if at all you will call us to say you are not being cared for, let's do the needful. So I think it's time now we go back to those areas and evict them with immediate effect. If not, during this rainy season, there will be a problem. Honorable Speaker, before I land, I come to the war in Israel, America, and Iraq. Honorable Speaker, it is time we act as a government. I know government is doing their best, but it's definitely terrifying and definitely inhuman to see what these Israel and Americans are doing on this Palestinian. It's inhuman. You see what these people are doing on innocent young ones. A school was bombarded, where innocent children are there going to school. What comes out of it? Nothing. Last week, they passed a law in their parliament, Israeli parliament. What did they pass? Death penalty. They were celebrating it inside the parliament with their champagne bottles. And what is the human rights in? Nothing, absolutely. But if it was passed in the Gambia, they will start putting sanctions on us as a parliament. Honorable Speaker, it is time we stand as a nation. It is time we stand as the Ummah. This is our Ummah. We are Muslims, and then let's call it very clear. We are Muslims. There are Christians among us who are also suffering. It's not fair. In the month of Ramadan, people struggle to look for what they take to break their fast. They can't take it. They cannot do it because of every day they have been bombed. They have been sent home, forcefully asked to leave their homes. By who? A single nation want to control the whole Gulf, and nobody talks about it. It's really unfair. It's fair. America is doing the same. By the so-called Donald Trump. Who is he? He's a human being like us. You have your powers, we also have our powers. And wallahi, Allah will judge. It's very clear in the Quran. Palestine must win, and they will win. Inshallah, they will win. Thank you.
Thank you, member for order. Thank you, member for Joshua and my son for that contribution. I'll now invite, of course, my son. I hope the Minister of Works and the President will not hear you say, Nyanaja, we have everything now. Thank you. Because we want more. The member for Nyamina West, you have the floor.
Okay, thank you very much, Speaker. I join my colleagues today on the Sai and Die. I thank the Speaker, the clerk. Also, I thank the Vice President and his cabinet team present here. Of course, I also have to thank the President of the Republic. I will also thank the table office for sparing our times, because I've observed for the past two sittings, we did not spend much time on our correction on records and votes. So thank you very much. But nonetheless, on the questions, please do screen and you see refer questions that may not be fitting to come to this place before they come in front of us. I come straight to Nyamina West. Honorable Speaker, Nyamina West, my constituency is very dear to me and my people. And like one of my colleagues will always say, thank you to my people for electing me and representing them here. In Nyamina West, the electricity, the common announced electricity, we felt the presence, but we have a little concern on the electricity because as at now, it's only from Choya to Sambang that is electrified. When it comes to Dalaba in the northern side, Dalaba to Jaulaba, commonly known from us as Baba Bala. That side is not yet lighting, but everything is put in place. I just want to put the minister in notice that the transmitter in Dalaba still is not put on. I don't know for what reason. And that the light from Choya to Sambang and the light from Dalaba to Jaulaba should have come together at once. But we don't know for what reason why still now the light from Dalaba to Jaulaba is not on. And that the right side of the constituency coming from Jara Soma ends to Basse, there is no pole yet, there is no electricity, there is no wire. So we need to know when. And I just called this morning to find out, but I was told that the poles have just reached at Kerkatim, where they are parked. I think so very soon action will commence, but we want to be updated on this issue. When it comes to education, Alhamdulillah, like one of my member praised here, the ministry, the two ministries, and in fact, it's the reality. The ministry is doing a lot in my constituency. Before I come to this parliament, we did not have any senior secondary school. But now that Sambang have graduated a senior secondary school batch since last year, Sambang Senior Secondary School. Also, Dalaba Lower Basic is being upgraded last year to a basic cycle school, and there is a big computer lab that is installed there last year, and it was inaugurated and opened by His Excellency, the President ADAMA BARROW. In that case, Mr. Speaker, we are saying a big thanks to the Minister and the President and the sitting government. We are very much proud and we are very much happy when it comes to the education sector in Nyamina West. I also want to put to the Minister that in that school, Dalaba, where we have the basic cycle and there is the computer lab installed, we will want them to send an ICT instructor, an ICT teacher that will take care of that lab. And I also want to put to the Minister that the Jaulaba school is also among the schools that is not yet taken care of. There is no fence, no water, and then the staff quarters. I just spoke to the head teacher and he told me that these are their concerns, if you could please help. And the same vein, when you come to Kerma Halima, known as the Jamungen Lower Basic, commonly known officially, but we call it Kerma Halima, but the school is labeled as Jamungen Lower Basic, for your own understanding. We would also want a fence there, and there is water, but we also need a better staff quarters. The school is not yet fenced. Yes, Kerma, these are the two schools that I have not fenced yet. But for Sofa Nyama, for Mount Kamel, Dalaba, and the upper basic in Sambang, and those ones are definitely well taken care of. They are upgraded, new structures, and staff quarters. We said thank you. When it comes to agriculture, Mr. Speaker, I think CRR corridor is well known, especially CRR South for rice production. And this area that I am talking about, except those who did not know the Nyaminas, especially from the Malikunda Faros, you come to Sambang and Dankung. Those places were well known for rice cultivation in the 80s to the 90s. In fact, I could remember at that time, many people will come from other areas in the Nyomis, in the Fonyis. Some guys come from Futa to come and help us harvest our rice in those days when there were no harvesting machines. But now that the Ministry of Agriculture is having such machines, they should come to our aid. They should come and inspect, like my colleague said, Upper Salo. Let them come and inspect this area. Let them come and do mapping. And they help us. Once they help us on this groundwork on the furrows, we will be able to produce a lot of grains that we can feed on, and we may not depend on importation of these grains. Mr. Speaker, other issues now will be issue of this littering. We have anti-littering regulations, but still now we are not adhering to that. I would have loved my city to be very clean, and my town and my village and my home. I practice it, but I would have loved that this is stick to and every Gambian practice it. And I would want my city to be very clean. So I come across a lot of littering around, on the roads, on the riversides, any other side. I would recommend that the minister try to come back with this settled issue that we have been embarking on. It's very important. I travel to other cities, I see how clean they are, and I would have loved this to be emphasized. I will also commend the government on trying to come and mitigate this irregular migration, which is very difficult. But I commend the Marines on stopping some of the people at Pirang. Around 51 people were stopped at Pirang on the 27th March 2026. I commend them for that. So let the Ministry of Interior help the Marines. Let them help the police to be going around and be vigilant about this irregular migration. And also, we the parents at our house, at our homes, we should be very vigilant. We should keep our kids. We should monitor our kids. We should monitor the youths. Once your child went out after 1 hour, you didn't see, you should find out. But some of us wouldn't find out. Before you realize he crossed borders. His Excellency said it here in one of his outings, that we are responsible, and definitely stinging measures should be taken upon the parents who sponsor, friends who sponsor, or whatsoever. If you are found that you sponsor a trip, you should be dealt with. Because no matter what, this backway thing is very bad, and I don't encourage it. Family call me to support, I say no to that, and I'm not a fan of that backway. I will also commend the government for coming with these Mansakunda programs or TV, radio talks. It's very important to sensitize the public on what the government is doing and government policies. And also, they also have what we call the ministers also are engaged on that talk. So this is very, very important. I also applaud them for the MyGov platform, where these ID cards and then many other things, even now the hospitals. So basically, digitalization is very important. Most of the revenues now we are having here and doing at our own is because of this digitalization. Finally, I will want to know when our road, Nyamina West, also will be commencing. That's my question to the ministry and the government at large. We did not enjoy any road for now. We are hoping, but we want an answer when we will see our foundation stone laid. Finally, thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, member for Nyamina West. The member for Banjul Central, you have the floor. A member for Eliasa.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the floor. Honorable Speaker, let me first recognize the presence of His Excellency, the Vice President and ministers present here, and their technicians as well. Honorable Speaker, let me profoundly thank your high office, the Speaker and the Deputy Speaker for the professionalism and the dedication. So far, they have a lot of challenges, but they were able to tackle these challenges professionally. I thank you so much for that. Honorable Speaker, let me thank His Excellency, the President, ADAMA BARROW, for always advising his followers to be tolerant and be God-fearing. Honorable Speaker, he further advised his followers to be committed and also have love for their country. Honorable Speaker, there is a saying, a bird in hand, what two in the bush. So the bird in our hand today, or in our hands today, is His Excellency Honorable, His Excellency ADAMA BARROW. ADAMA BARROW is a person we know. He definitely have the interests of this country at heart. So we dare not to change ADAMA BARROW with anybody in this country. And Honorable Speaker, water resources. Honorable Speaker, let me thank the government of the Gambia through the Ministry of Water Resources for providing clean and safe drinking water for the following villages in Ilyasa constituency, namely Nger Angale.
There is a point of order by the member for Woolley East. Can we hear the point of order, sir?
Honorable Speaker, I'm rising on point 29.6. You see, the name of the President of the Republic of the Gambia shall not be used to influence the Assembly. So it is not proper to be mentioning ADAMA BARROW, ADAMA BARROW. You are not in a campaign field. So let's limit ourselves to the Assembly.
Order, honorable members. Honorable member for, can you put off your mic? (29.6). The name of the President of the Republic of the Gambia shall not be used to influence the Assembly. And in this instance, we have an adjournment debate. Members' debate is within the earth and the heaven. No limit. And this clause may be applicable to when there is a matter before Assembly and then members are debating to influence votes and use the name of the President to influence members to sway them. But in this case, it's wrong. The honorable member for Ilyasa is appreciating the government of President ADAMA BARROW. And it has nothing to influence members of parliament because you are not going to vote on anything. There is no piece of legislation or motion. No, you are out of order. No. Member, continue.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for that wonderful ruling. Honorable Speaker, let me just continue. Honorable Speaker, water resources. As I said, let me thank the government of the Gambia through the Ministry of Water Resources for providing clean and safe drinking water for the following villages. Honorable Speaker, the villages are Nger Angale, Gerekau Misira, Gerekau Fula, and Gerekau Wolof. But still, Honorable Speaker, I want to make an appeal. There are still 2 dock boreholes in Ilyasa constituency which are not yet fixed. And this area includes Balengo and the Diamandinka village. I will definitely be very happy if the Ministry of Water Resources to consider these people so that they can also have a clean and safe drinking water. Honorable Speaker, works under infrastructure. I want to thank the government through the Ministry of Works and Infrastructure for identifying 3 important roads to be constructed in Ilyasa constituency. These roads are Ilyasa via Jumansar to Kacham village. Again, Yalal Tankonjala via Mbanta, Yuna, Angale, Kerendongo, Talia, Gerekau to India, the main Johnson. Again, the Makafarafenye Johnson via Makafarafenye to Lansar village. The people of Ilyasa constituency are very much happy, definitely, to have these roads in our constituency. So thank you very much, the President of the Republic of the Gambia. Again, Honorable Speaker, Ministry of Energy and Petroleum. Honorable Speaker, double thanks to the Ministry of Energy for the tremendous job that the ministry is currently embarking on, that is to electrify the whole country, the whole of the Gambia, big villages and small villages. So definitely this ministry and the government also should be thanked for that effort. Again, Honorable Speaker, Ministry of Agriculture. This ministry, I will say, is unique in terms of providing life and livelihood, for changing the life and livelihood of Gambian farmers. The Ministry of Agriculture, I am saying thank you so much for definitely providing farmers with enough modern equipment. So far, I will say thank you so much, Ministry of Agriculture. To conclude, Honorable Speaker, let me say big thanks to His Excellency by providing Gambians what we need. Honorable Speaker, I pray for the Almighty Allah to grant His Excellency long life, good health, and prosperity. Honorable Speaker, I pray from the bottom of my heart. We are approaching December presidential election. All what I want is for the president to have landslide victory in that election. Honorable Speaker, I thank you very much for giving me the floor.
Thank you, the member for Banjul Central. You can have the floor now. Thank you, member for Ilyasa. Member for Banjul Central, the floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. We would like to acknowledge His Excellency, the Vice President, and all cabinet ministers here present, and also support staff here present as well. Honorable Speaker, I would first and foremost like to start with a few constituency issues. We would like to thank the government of the Gambia. I would remember standing here in Parliament multiple times complaining about the issue of our water quality. Some 2 years ago, I and some other members of the PEC committee conducted a water quality survey, which was something that was really a big issue within the constituency, because people will turn on their taps and be seeing certain particles, among other things. Sometimes the water quality will change color and stuff like that. So it was quite alarming. And most of the residents do not have the means to be able to go frequently to the shops to buy sterilized mineral water and stuff. So it was quite concerning. And I would also like to thank the PEC committee for according us that courtesy to be able to conduct that survey. From there, Honorable Speaker, as required as a representative, we've been echoing it here in the Hallowed Chambers as to exactly what the ministry would do to make sure that at least these things would be remedied. So the Honorable Minister for Petroleum, I wish he was here, promised that part of the WASIP project, that is the Greater Banjul Water Quality Project, it was included, and that actually it was done, because currently we've seen that construction have been ongoing. So it would be good to know exactly, to have an update as to exactly how far it is, and when are we expected to be able to have our water tank ready for use. Honorable Speaker, I would also like to echo the issue of our National Museum in Banjul. Our National Museum is dilapidated, it is obsolete. Most of the areas within the confinement of the museum can't even be reached by visitors. There are certain areas in the museum, usually the museum guides or the guards will just stand and just explain to visitors what exactly the particular area compares of, or what exactly historical artifacts are in a particular place without even being able to reach that particular place, basically. So there's a barrier that is there due to some issues related to obsolety, basically, because if you try to reach certain areas, basically, because of the confinements are quite old, and there are certain areas you can't reach, basically. And as a national museum of this country, I think we deserve better. The Honorable Minister for Tourism had made mention here some time ago that he was trying to work with some counterparts to make sure that we're able to have a state-of-the-art museum that will at least be of much standard, that at least we will be proud of. So I wish he was also here to be able to give us update on that. These are also things that are very important, not only for Banjulians, but for the Gambia at large, because it will help in not only even foreign tourism, but even domestic, tourism. Right now, we're trying to promote domestic tourism. So most of the young ones here, sometimes you'll see school-going children when they, after coming from the National Assembly, they would also want to go to the arch and then never again, and then later on go to the museum. So it's very important that it's also standardized to be able to help them in their, historical issues as well. Honorable Speaker, yes, the issue of the state-owned enterprises, Honorable Speaker, is something that, as part of a member of the PEC committee, the recent Sona, the President has actually mentioned that the state-owned enterprises, through the State-owned Enterprise Commission that was set up, they've done an absolutely incredible job. From a $2.6 billion loss in 2024 to $2.5 billion of consolidated net revenue. I think that is definitely applauded, definitely. It means that at least some of these are things that we've been advocating for. Like we say, we try to at least pull the string somewhere, because though the ministers and the ministries are doing their level best to make sure that they're setting the right policies, the right frameworks, to make sure that at least the country is set in the right direction. But sometimes it's good also to constructively criticize on areas that we feel that there are ambiguities or should be looked into. And I think that this shows that at least something must have been done to make these things right. So something somewhere is working, basically. So it's just something that I wanted to add, that for us to at least keep pushing the barrier, and that even part of what we saw also from the Sona is that 5 state-owned enterprises are even yet to pay their dividends, meaning that there's always room for improvement. My only question would be, when it comes to the issue of NAWEC, Honorable Speaker, NAWEC has been an issue for this country, because year on, year out, we're subsidizing them from the taxpayers' money, and NAWEC's subsidies are quite heavy. So I would want to also ask the Vice President to help us out here. What exactly is the plan for NAWEC, basically? to see NAWEC be part of the SOEs to be eventually paying dividend like other SOEs. Honorable Speaker, I would also like to quickly touch on the issue of land scamming here. We've been having, as representatives, we've been having a lot of complaints of people scamming, very innocent Gambians who've been abroad, years abroad with their hard-earned money, sending it here and then being scammed and then having to start fresh, which is very, very difficult for them. And some being levied from their own salaries, having 15, 20 years in the civil service, and then just losing their prospective properties out of thin air, with people who feel that they have influence or know people in power, and they actually always put up on these TikToks and these social media handles and stuff like that. And even the complainants will always be saying that I've taken him to immigration, to police, to the courts and stuff like that. He always says, take me anywhere you want. You understand? So meaning that there are certain people in this country who feel that they are powerful enough or know people in the hierarchy that anything that they do that is illegal in this country, they can get away with it. So we really like the Honorable Vice President. These are issues of concern. I know the government is doing their level best. Currently, there are regulations put through. Even there's a real estate bill that is upcoming and stuff. But currently, as we speak, as the bill is yet to get here, what exactly are the current remedies to be able to at least help the citizens? Because a lot of people are complaining about these issues, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, when it comes to the issue of health, Honorable Speaker, the Minister of Health, based on an oral parliamentary question, gave us a data on maternal mortality rates currently. So based on investigations from people in the medical field, some are saying that the data that was given to Parliament was not accurate. So I don't think the Honorable Minister will come to Parliament and mislead the August body. So I would just take it as it might be an oversight or a mistake. So it would be prudent for him to come back here and clarify that particular issue, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, when it comes to the issue of education, Honorable Speaker, I would like the Honorable Ministers, both basic and higher education, to help us out. There's been an issue with these street interviews. We've been seeing students, school-going students being just met on the streets and randomly interviewed, and be caricatured and making fun of and stuff like that. What I want to know if the minister is aware of this, and are there particular remedies or measures that can be taken to be able to make sure that exploitation of these young school-going girls, will be stopped? Because we always see it on this social media, Honorable Speaker. Also, Honorable Speaker, still on education, I would, for ministers for both basic and higher education, we've seen there's been an increase in enrollment. Also, there are a lot of facilities, school facilities have been built and stuff. So we applaud you for also propelling the issue of increased access to education. But we want to know, right now we've seen certain results are not very good, especially when it comes to the WAS and others. How is learning quality in the Gambia as we speak? How does access, erode with quality? That is something that we would really like to know. And also, quickly, before my time elapses, we've seen also that most basic schools and even some, mostly some higher educational facilities, but mostly basic schools, they are usually double shifts. They are usually double shifts, and there's always overcrowding in some schools. We would want to know what remedies are being taken to make sure that
Thank you, member for Banjul Central. Honorable members, before giving the member for Sanementre, earlier on I ruled on 29.6. When you look at it, the drafter's intention are very clear. If there is a motion or a bill or a matter before Parliament for voting, and members are debating, and they use the name of the president to influence members' decision, that's what it meant. But not when we are on an adjournment debate. Because there is nothing that, order, honorable members, order. There is nothing that we are debating today. So we don't have to, order, honorable members, order. So please, members, take note. Member for Sanementre, you have the floor.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. First, Honorable Speaker, I will have to acknowledge the presence of His Excellency, the Vice President of the Gambia, and his cabinet ministers here in present since the morning. Honorable Speaker, again, I'll also have to thank the Office of the Clerk, the Office of the Speaker, and of course, through the Office of the Clerk, the table office, and the committee staffs. Honorable Speaker, again, I will also have to thank the members of the Parliament who have been constantly coming to address the issues of their various constituencies. Honorable members of Parliament, this is what is expected on us as members of Parliament who were highly elected with expectations that our people had on us. So thank you very much for that constant coming. Honorable Speaker, moving forward, today is the last day of our session, our sittings for 2026 first ordinary session. Honorable Speaker, the issue of Anti-Corruption Commission, which was established. Yet, Honorable Speaker, the Anti-Corruption Commission has been established, but yet the country have not had anything in action with regards to the implementation. So we would like to know the reasons behind this, why it is still holding that effect have not done. Honorable Speaker, moving on to the issue of ID cards. ID cards, the issuance of ID cards to Gambians outside the Gambia. I have raised this issue, or I have asked a question with regards to this issue to the Minister of Interior, and one of the response that I got was, this is an action that has been moving around in other countries. It means we are also emulating other countries. I stand to be corrected. But Honorable Speaker, is a concern to the Gambians. Remember, we are all elected, and we are elected to represent our people in our various constituencies. And this is a concern, so we need to raise the concerns of our people. It is equally a concern of honorable members in this parliament, but equally a concern of our people. These are the citizens of this country, and we need to look into this and then give reasons, tangible reasons, why this issuance of ID cards to Gambians outside the Gambia is still existing. And yet, there are countries that are not issued, the like of Americans, Gambians in America, the like of Gambians in Germany, and the like of Gambians in other countries that we have a lot of Gambians. Why that difference? Why selective issuance of ID cards to countries that we may not even have a lot of Gambians? Honorable Speaker, you are not the Speaker. Keep quiet, please. Honorable Speaker, the current issue in my constituency, Honorable Speaker, as we speak today, or as I speak now, there is an ongoing problem in my constituency in Brufut.
No, I hear you say, Honorable Speaker, go ahead.
Maybe you are not attentive, Honorable Speaker. Yeah. I said, Honorable Speaker, that's the norm. I said, Honorable Speaker, the current issue in my constituency, current issue in my constituency with regards to the ongoing chaos that is existing in Brufut right now as I speak. Honorable Speaker, as I speak, there are paramilitaries having chaos with the people of my constituency in Brufut with regards to the release of a citizen or a case that has been going to the court, but after the court, this is what I am talking about. There is already a release or a discharge of an individual from the court, from the court ruling, and again, the person has been rearrested.
Point of order.
There's point of order from nominated member Kebalang Fofana.
Honorable Speaker, I'm rising on 29.2. 29.2 states, reference shall not be made of any matter in respect of which legal proceedings are active in such a way as might, in the opinion of the Speaker or other chairpersons, prejudice the interests of the parties. The state made it clear that they are going to appeal the ruling. And as we are speaking, and Honorable Speaker, you know there are two types of people in this parliament. Those who are there to inform and those who are there to inflame. So I'm informing you, those who are out to inflame can be quiet for a bit. Honorable Speaker, the state made its intention clear that they are going to appeal the verdict of the court. And as we are talking, an ex parte motion has been filed. So the Honorable Speaker, the matter that the Honorable Member is referring to is currently before the courts. And as such, I rule that you tell him to withdraw his submission. Thank you.
Honorable members, order. When there is a point, Minority Leader, Member for Latikunda Sabiji, please put your tag down. Order, honorable members. Honorable members, order. The member for Stanementring. To which case are you referring to?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for coming with that question. Honorable Speaker, I am not talking about the ruling of the court.
Order, honorable members, order. Order, wait. Order. Member for Sanementreng, you are not on your mic. Sanementreng, I ask a question. Order. Honorable members, order, please. Honorable member, order. I am asking the member for Sanementreng. You are just saying a particular case. Which case are you referring to?
Honorable Speaker, I am talking about the case or the chaos existing in my constituency currently, right now as I speak.
Honorable member for Sanementreng. Honorable member for Sanementreng.
Honorable Speaker, I know where they're pushing
Honorable
me
member
to,
for Sanementreng, take your seat. Order, honorable members, order. Order, honorable members. Honorable members, order. Order, honorable member for Sanementreng. What you said it before and you are repeating. Which case are you referring to?
Honorable Speaker, I am talking about the release of Usainu Boja.
Okay, thank you. Take your seat. Let me do the ruling. All right, thank you. Thank you. Honorable members, order. Order. Honorable members, order, please. Honorable members, you know, we had on state news, and we have been informed by nominated member Keba Lang Fofana that the state has appealed. So therefore, the matter, order, honorable members, order, honorable members, order. When I finish, I come to you. So therefore, order. 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 Order, honorable members, order. Order, honorable members, order. Can I observe, honorable speaker? Can I?
Honorable Speaker, point of order again.
I want honorable members. Honorable members, I want the majority leader and minority leaders to help urge their members to maintain decorum. There is a point of order. Allow me to rule. The point of order is that the member is referring to the case of the state versus Hussein Bojang. And because I have not heard the member mentioning that, and I asked her, she told me that's the case he's referring to. Allow me to make my ruling. Order, honorable members. Honorable members, it is our knowledge that the state has appealed through an honorable members order. The state has appealed through an expatriate motion. So if that is the case, then the matter is before the court. And I so rule that if the state has appealed through an expatriate motion,
Speaker, you cannot establish that.
the court. And I so rule. Parliamentarian continue in your seat. Otherwise, we all. The member for parliamentarian continue.
Honorable Speaker, in case you don't know, for your information, in case you don't know, Honorable Speaker, for your information, Hussein Bojang has been released at the moment, so meaning the case is not right now before the court. If there will be any appeal, it is yet to be implemented.
Order, point of order, point of order, point of order. Honorable members, order. Honorable members, we must be honest to ourselves. Minority and majority leaders, please don't do that.
Point of order.
No, wait, I'll allow you.
Point of order, Speaker. Point of order.
Honorable members, please order.
Point of order.
Wait, please. Honorable members, the member for Saner Mentreng further told us that Hussein Bojang is released, and as such, the matter is not before a court. Wait, honorable members, order. That's what she said. Honorable members, a matter being before the court doesn't mean an individual is incarcerated or not. You know, order, honorable members, order. Until to the contrary, what we received yesterday was that government, through an expatriate motion, has appealed. Then that means order. Immediately the first phase. Members, please. Minority leader and majority leader, please. Order.
Point of order, Honorable Speaker. Point of order. Honorable Speaker, point of order.
Wait.
I'm asking a point of order.
Wait.
Yes.
Honorable members, you see, however palatable or unpalatable a matter might be, we must abide by our rules of procedures. The law said, if a matter is before a court of law, you cannot discuss it. And yesterday, as we were told, the first phase at the High Court was concluded, and immediately, government, we are told, put about expatriate motion to another level. Therefore, it's inconclusive. It is still before the court. Because as that, I rule that we must not talk about that until otherwise.
Point of order.
Continue.
No, point of order.
There's a point of order.
There's a point
from Jimara.
Honorable Speaker, I'm rising.
There is a point of order.
I'm rising a point of order, please.
Let take your seat, please. There's a point of order by the member for Jimara.
No.
Jimara, please.
Aye. Point of order, Honorable Speaker.
Point of order, Speaker. There is point of order. From Jimara.
Point of order, please.
Jimara,
members, let's maintain decorum. We have procedures that we follow in this chamber. Honorable Speaker, order 8.3. The Speaker's ruling. The Speaker's ruling shall be final on all questions for procedures and orders. Honorable Speaker, you have already made a ruling on this matter. Why? I don't understand why we are still arguing about it.
Order sustained. Member for Sanamentering, please continue your debate. Point of order. There is a point of order by the member for Central Body.
Honorable Speaker, you have not made my...
Sanamentering, there is point of order by Central Body. I rule, I said order sustained. There is a point of order from Central Body.
Please kindly lend me your ears. Order 29.2. Under 29.2, reference shall not be made to any matter in respect which legal proceedings are active. Underline the word active. This case is not active any longer. Just make a call. Make a call to the court.
Order, honorable
member.
member.
Active. It's no more active.
Order, honorable members, order. Honorable members, order. Honorable members. The majority leader orders, please give me your ears. Let's be honest to ourselves. Honorable members, order. I will not be in a position to deny anyone the right to debate. I'm just doing in accordance with the law. Somebody raised an objection that this matter is before the court. And his argument that it's not conclusive because immediately then the state put up an ex parte motion, which is to the knowledge of everybody. If there's an ex parte motion, that means it's before the court, they are appealing that decision, meaning that that matter is not conclusive yet. If following that following the judgment, if there was no move by any other party to appeal, then the matter would have been deemed to have been. Majority leader, please stop that. And Central Party, don't do that. Following the judgment, if no party had moved further to appeal, then it would have been deemed to have been conclusive until otherwise. Now that the state has filed in an ex parte motion, it is before the court, and so I rule, and members must abide by these standing orders. The member for Sanamentering, continue.
Honorable Speaker, and again, Honorable Speaker, I want you to listen and listen attentively.
Huh?
Yes, the member for Sanamentering, please continue.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
Sanamentering, please take your seat. Honorable members, order. Honorable members, my rulings are that the matter is before the court of law and per standing orders 29-2. Let's avoid that. Member for Sanamentering, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I want you to listen, and please listen attentively to my deliberations with regards to this issue, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, with all due respect, Honorable Speaker, currently as I speak, there is an existing chaos in my constituency. A chaos in my constituency between the paramilitaries and, of course, the citizens of my constituency. Honorable Speaker, this is what I was talking about. You asked me to mention a name, and of course I will. Honorable Speaker, currently the existing chaos in my constituency, Honorable Speaker, it is uncalled for. I call it uncalled for because, as I speak to you, Honorable Speaker, women vendors in the market have already packed and went away. They could not sell. They could not run on their normal businesses because of the tear gas and the distractions by the paramilitaries. It is uncalled for. This is not what we deserve as women. This is not what we deserve as citizens of this country. And this is not what we deserve to demonstrate our rightful things. Honorable Speaker, watching the videos, after watching the video, series of videos, Honorable Speaker, some people were bleeding. Some are put in a pickup, escorted by paramilitaries to the hospital, and who were seriously beaten by those very paramilitaries. Is this what we deserve as a country, Honorable Speaker? And as women. Honorable Speaker, as I speak, at Burford Gamtel Junction, no one around that area is moving around for his or her normal businesses because of the tear gas and attacks by the paramilitaries, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, women and their various homes within that jurisdiction could not move within the house and the kitchen to prepare food for their children and their husbands because of tear gas and attacks by the various paramilitaries. Is this what we deserve as a country, Honorable Speaker?
Point of order, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Speaker.
Point of order, Honorable Speaker.
There is a point of order by who?
Yeah, Honorable Speaker.
Yes, I'm rising on the 17F. While a member is speaking, all other members shall remain silent and shall not make any unseemly interruptions. I believe that the Honorable Minority Leader is making interruptions, and she should allow the Honorable Member for Sani Mentoring to proceed. Yeah.
Honorable members, order, please. Honorable member for Sabasanjal, order sustained. The member for Minority Leader and orders, please be quiet. And the member for Banjul North, be quiet. And Talinding. Parliamentarian, please continue.
Thank you very much again, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, counting series of destruction by the PIU officers to the people of my constituency, more especially the women. It is uncalled for, and justice must prevail to stop this act, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the OIC demolition that had already took place in my constituency during the road construction. Compensation is not completed, Honorable Speaker. I am calling on the line ministry to make sure that the compensation would be given to my people in my constituency. You cannot demolish my house. You left me astray, and still I am not compensated to build my house to make sure that I'll be living comfortably with my family, Honorable Speaker. I am calling on the line ministry to look into that, and I urge them to pay those compensations to the people affected, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, with regards to the Women Federation market within Sukuta, Honorable Speaker, the land has been taken from that family, and still they were not compensated, and still that land is not still being utilized. The structure has been built there.
Thank you very much. I now invite the member for Talinding Kunjang. Talinding Kunjang, you have the floor.
What he's claiming is right.
Talinding Kunjang, you have the floor, my friend.
When there is point of order, somebody is interrupted. You need to compensate them. That's what he said.
Talinding Kunjang, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, let me start by acknowledging the presence of the Vice President and the cabinet ministers here present and the permanent secretaries and other members of the government here present. I will begin by thanking two ministers. Honorable member for Nyanja spoke before me, but I already have the same thing online. That is the Minister of Higher Education, Science, Research and Technology, and then Minister of Basic and Secondary School. And the reasons are evident. Most of the things that this government can boast of about development are happening in these two and other ministries. With higher education, we are counting universities now. So I want to, just Monday, I attended the inaugural ceremony of the University of Civil Service. And no one can downplay the significance, impact this university is going to play in the transformation of this country. And I want to personally acknowledge that and thank the minister and his ministry. And also thank the Minister of Basic and Secondary School Education. I said it here even before when the first debate we had, that I understood that she is going to deliver, and she is on that trail. And the first thing that I impressed about that is accessibility. Honorable Speaker, ministers have to be accessible by the representatives of the people. We don't need anything. Access. When I have people, something in my constituency I want to relate to a minister, I should have access, unfettered access. Not to come on to your office and sit down. I don't need to come. I don't need the airport. But then even if I have access through communication, telephone, that's enough. If I reach you, you receive. Even midnight, you text the Minister of Basic Secondary School. She will reply you confidently. And she will take charge of the things and give you feedback. I have tried to get the presentation to Talinding. But the first day I told this minister here, she asked me to give her date. I gave her date, she come that day. And then, and what is happening? The high school is ongoing. The secondary school also is good. And she made personal intervention with regards to chairs through MRC Foundation so that the high school can have grade 12. And the Italian people are grateful for this, and I want to acknowledge your efforts. I want to also add that the vice president is here, they should support you, and the Gamtel, Mr. Jabi, Honorable Jabi went out. There is an old Gamtel unused location. It has been a project, but it's a failed one since before the advent of 2016. Gamtel is not using the place. It's a building next to the high school. So it's used as a store. I've gone there, I've taken pictures, I've engaged the minister, and she asked me to go to him. And he also is a very accessible minister. I have to acknowledge that, Honorable Jabi. Definitely. And then I want the government, now that Gamtel is releasing this thing, that facility should be given to Talinding High School, so that they can make best use of it, because even if Gamtel is revived or something, they can never use that place again. Yes, Gamtel built the structure, but the land was given by the community of Talinding. So it will make good if that structure can be given to Talinding, the Minister of Basic and Secondary School, so that they give it to Talinding to make it a library, sort of. And even the school admin also can fit there. Other facilities. And that reminds me about the library service that I've talked about here. That the government should help the ministry to make library service, it has to be semi-autonomous. The act is there, but then it has to function. Just this Sona, as the president mentioned about some of the transformation going in schools. But what is happening about library service? Access to material. How do we build reading culture in this country? So that is something we should encourage. And the reason why I talk about accessibility, I've been to a minister's office, and we arrived at the same time. He saw me, close the door, then I announced to the secretary, tell the minister that Honorable Baji want to see him. He said, do you have appointment? I said, no, but tell him if he doesn't want to see me, then that will be fine. The secretary went and told him, after I confirmed, he saw me, he was at the door. He went, the minister said he's coming to have a meeting. Not that he's having a meeting, no, because he cannot say he's having a meeting because the office was empty. I was there. He said he's coming to have a meeting, and because of that, he'll be busy to give me 1 minute. Come, I went to higher education. He was about to have a meeting. Even the secretary, I told the same thing to the orderly. Just tell him, if he's not ready to see me, I will go. The moment he came, I said, I found people there. He allowed me in, and I didn't even spend 2 minutes or 3 minutes in that office. Because I don't go to a minister's office to waste his time. I waste my time. So this minister said he's busy. And you know why I went there? It's because I've called the minister, he refused to pick. I've WhatsApped him, he refused to respond. I've texted him direct, he refused to. Had it been he had responded, I wouldn't have need to go there. I wouldn't have. In my entire 4 years, I've been to only 3 ministries. That is, and I have to acknowledge Honorable Ahmad Ba also, very accessible minister. And Minister of the Higher Education and the basic, I have no reason to go there because she's accessible, even at my home. I can communicate with her, tell her the needs, picture the school, picture the needs of people, and send her. She will respond. And the next time I go there, I will see changes. That's what we need as members representative of the people. Now, the roads in my constituency, these OIC roads, it seems, you know, some people talk about their constituency. They say this will thank, yes. They have reason to thank the government. If I don't have, I will not. So, member for Opasalu mentioned about 36 villages that have been electrified. Nyani the same thing, from Nisibuo to Godoro. You understand? But for me, also, you know, we have social justice. It's injustice if you don't share national cake equitably. Electricity is not my challenge, yes, but I have other challenges. I mentioned about flooding in Talindi. I mentioned about roads here. And I think the national disaster management, the name should be prevention, not management. What are you managing disaster? We should prevent, national prevention, disaster prevention and management. What is management? Now, we need a holistic government project. And I'm not impressed with national development, and it's under your excellency. Sorry to say, it's under your ministry. But then we are not feeling you. Every season is chaos in Talinding. People don't sleep. People have abandoned their houses because of flooding. What is the government going to do for these people? And the way I see it, it's like you say, okay, that is the opposition area, let's neglect them. No, that's what's happening. I said it, you are trading for votes. You are trading for votes, yes. Look at these OIC roads. They come up to Joshua and stop there. Wait. They come up to Joshua and stop because the government, the person in Joshua is a government, you know, coalition MP. Everything is done. Even the street lights are fixed. And they stop at Joshua. Go to Talindi. Nothing is happening. When President was coming on this store, the following day I went there, they fired the contractor, you know, maybe the national, you know, because I see development being politicized. You know why? Because the minister himself here, Honorable William said he would not want to involve us. Because when we go, we do Facebook and pretend that we bring the development. Ibrahim Silla, he said it here on the floor of the house, responding to my query. And that's what's happening now in Talindi. They are not completing the roads, and even the compensation package, Honorable Your Excellency Vice President, the compensation package, people's houses have been demolished and they have not been compensated. Only people who are compensated are seen to be NPP supporters. And now, it's my constituency. You are from Sabah Sengal. I know what I'm saying. I've been there. No, yes. They are. I've known a woman who is an NPP chairwoman. She was the first to receive compensation. She was the first, and all the people. Now, if I go to Sawasaja and I have seen the roads, some roads, no, they have done something in Sawasaja. He has reason to clap for the government.
Honorable members, order. Honorable members, Order. Thank you. Member for Talending. I'm not sure whether you will go and tell your people to decamp to NPP. But don't answer today. The member for Kiang West, you have the floor. The member for Kiang West, you have the floor.
Honorable members, it is worthy to put it on record that representatives, there is a purpose of representation, and that purpose is to serve the citizens with diligence, with honesty, with high sense of integrity. Completely, actions speak about so many people, but I insist that nobody on the face of the earth shall suppress me on my line of duty, shall suppress me, shall oppress me, shall make me to keep quiet on issues that are affecting the people of this country. I will never do that. Honorable Speaker, the action of the government about the rearrest of Hussein Bojang is not only illegal, but it's criminal. This is a man.
There is a point of order. Before the point of order, Honorable Member for Kiang West and honorable members, I made a ruling on that, and it's based on our law. I want members to abide by that ruling. And I want members, the member for Kiang West indicated doing our responsibilities. We must also do so without fear or favor and in accordance with law. When a speaker rules in accordance with law, as a representative, you are expected to abide by it. And I want members to abide by my ruling. I've made a ruling on that, and I've given a stern warning that members must avoid that. Member for Kantora and Majority Leader, can we have a point of order?
It is please. Honorable Speaker, I am calling all and sundry in respect to Standing Order 8. We must respect the chair. In as much as we are represented, nobody will suppress anybody for speaking your mind. We are in democracy, and this democracy is very healthy. 10 years down the line, you don't have the guts to say what you want to say in this chamber. Honorable Speaker, no, Standing Order 8 sub 3, the Speaker's ruling shall be final in all questions of procedure and orders.
Thank you. Honorable members, order sustained, and as I ruled earlier, the member for Kiang West, please continue. Kiang West, please continue. Member for Kiang West, please continue.
Honorable Speaker, the chief custodians of the law in this country is the executive. Honorable Speaker, we have separations of power several times. Independent institutions in this country are not respected by the executive. Several interference no respect to the legislature in terms of the implementation of the recommendation, no respect to the audit report, which is an independent institution. We had the head of state saying it's just a mere opinion. No respect to the judiciary. We can remember the case of the Umar Sajo, where there was a judgment for the person to be reinstated by the state, and that his dismissal was unlawful. The Minister for Justice advised the government that that judgment was declaratory instead of executory. The government refused to do that. And again, today we are all witnessing that it can be anybody tomorrow. That the High Court of this country made a judgment, a ruling on a case. Nobody cares that an innocent brother and a sister can be tortured in that manner. But Honorable Speaker, let me say this on record.
Honorable Member for Kiang West, the technicians, my intervention or any point of order on any member who persistently violate the Speaker's ruling, and as such, there are point of orders on the same matter, those time consumed must be part of the member's time. The Honorable Member for Kiang West, I appeal to members, please let's respect the Speaker's ruling. Avoid the matter of Hussein Oboja. That's my ruling, please.
Honorable Speaker, this government has not only failed in respecting the laws of this country, but in all the reforms from 2016 to date. The first reforms that were sanctioned by this government under the watch of His Excellency President ADAMA BARROW, the Constitutional Review Commission, he sanctioned it. He committed national resources to it, 100+ million. It was the same president who engineered the failure of the passage of that constitution and wasted the resources of this country.
Sorry,
Honorable Speaker,
point of order,
it doesn't
please.
stop there.
Point of order.
There's a point of order by the member for Kantora and Majority Leader.
Honorable Speaker, the member content of speech. Honorable Speaker, content of speech, order 29. Yes. 29(4). No member shall impute improper motive on any other member. 5.
Honorable members, please.
You cannot stand here to impute a failure of a constitution to head of states. Please. So I will listen. You have to listen.
Majority Leader.
Listen. He said the president has engineered to the failure of a constitution in this parliament. This constitution was laid here. Nobody, no parliamentarian has been induced by the president to fail the constitution. The member must withdraw that.
Order. Honorable members, order. Honorable members, order. Order. Honorable member for Kantora and Majority Leader, you know you are out of order. No. The member for Kiang West, please continue.
Honorable Speaker, His Excellency again, through his powers, constitutionally donated powers, sanctioned the establishment of a commission to look into the assets and the financial dealings of the former president, called Janet Commission. This Janet Commission was done, submitted their recommendations, recommended the banning of some people to hold public office. The same president who sanctioned the establishment of that commission pardoned so many people who has committed financial crimes because he wants to be re-elected in office. He established that commission and engineered the failure of their recommendations. It doesn't stop there as far as their reforms are concerned. Security sector reform, honorable members, from 2016, 2017 to date, the foreign military are still present in this country. Our head of state is being protected by a foreign military. What reform have we done as far as security is concerned? Don't we still as a country have trust and confidence in our men and women in uniform? But I am not surprised of the recent happenings. Not their welfare, not their well-being. Honorable members, let's come to agriculture. On Sona, I tried to make that point clearly during the Sona debate, where in one of the president's speech and said that his government committed 300 million to recapitalize GGC. When we received the budget for 2026 in this very house, there was no allocation for the recapitalization of the GGC. This very house, this August Assembly, cancelled the input subsidy and transported it to the recapitalization of the GGC. Because after the cabinet approves that that institution be recapitalized, your finance ministry, including you as a government, refused to recapitalize that. So that is not your effort. This parliament does that. Honorable Speaker, currently in my constituents in Kia West, there are some youths whose livelihood activity is farming. They've taken their groundnuts to the SECO. They've taken their groundnuts and their monies were not given to them. Ahead of Ramadan, all these boys, all these youths are family men and women. They have taken their groundnuts. They've never given them their monies. They said when they get to SECOs, the only thing they tell them is, we are also following them, they did not give us our monies. These are people who are depending on farming to feed their families. Honorable Speaker, it is important that if government is making a commitment to something, application should not be haphazard. A commitment should be in full. You have given them fertilizer, you have subsidized fertilizer for them, you have given them seeds. After struggling for 6 months, you take their groundnuts, you've never given them any money. They are suffering with their families. Honorable Speaker, let's come to the tractors. The government committed huge amount of money to purchase tractors in this country, 100 plus tractors. I want this August House to be informed. How many tractors are being bought as with speech and how many tractors are delivered? How many tractors are delivered to the farmers? We want to know that. And subsequently, I will send in a parliamentary question for them to submit the list of beneficiaries of those tractors. We will see the reveal of those beneficiaries here. It was all partisan. It was all partisan. Honorable Speaker, people of this country, particularly the youth, How many youths have died in the Mediterranean under the watch of the same president? 77 plus children died in this country because we don't have a simple testing laboratory under the watch of the same president. What does he has to tell the Gambians to re-elect him as the president? Honorable Speaker, it is high time that, and we are going to rise up to send him a clear message that this country no longer needs his governance. We need a responsible government, and we need a responsive government. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Member for Kiang West. I now invite nominated Member Kebalang Fofana.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I will start my deliberations by holding this small booklet. Honorable Speaker, I'm disturbed. Listen.
Honorable members, order. Honorable members, order, please. Honorable members, order. Honorable members, please don't do that. The member for Kiang West told us, and he reminded us our responsibilities, that we are representative and we must serve to the best of our ability, and we must be responsible to our responsibilities. And members will just speak and go. Nominated Member Kebalang Fofana, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I will start by recognizing the presence of His Excellency, the Vice President, and all other cabinet ministers who have been here with us since in the morning, and equally to start my debate on thanking the President. And to do that, I want to boldly hold this leaflet and read the cover letter. It states, 2026 State of the Nation Address delivered by His Excellency, Mr. ADAMA BARROW, President of the Republic of the Gambia at the National Assembly, Banjul, on the 26th of March, 2026. Honorable Speaker, this country owes a debt of gratitude to President Barrow for not only delivering a Sona address that was apt, but a Sona address that progressively addressed or articulated all sectors of our economy, starting from the Ministry of Finance and our economy. Last year, inflation was very high, and we witnessed so many adverse rhetorics on the floor of this assembly that the economy was mismanaged. But to my surprise, Honorable Speaker, when it was reported that inflation have reduced from over 10% to around 6.6, I didn't hear any voice, or I didn't hear any voice from the left side, I'll be specific, from the far left, congratulating the government. And Honorable Speaker, again, I will repeat, this country owes a great debt of gratitude to the President for not only electrifying our country, but committing over $1 billion as subsidy. This is great. This is telling you that we don't only have a listening president, but we have a pragmatic one who knows the needs of the people. He's not only telling the farmers that I'm providing electricity for you, but he's telling you for every unit of electricity you are buying, the government is what? Complementing it. And Honorable Speaker, to dwell away from the Sona speech, I want to conclude with the quest of the president, that we have a nation to build. And in building this nation, it requires concerted efforts. All of us must come together, both the left side and the right side, and know that at the end of the day, the only thing that will remain will be the Gambia. And that will take me to the starting of the debate of the honorable member of Kiang West, who reminded parliamentarians of their responsibility. You see, our responsibility is to represent people, to inform them. But we should be careful as to what do we inform them about. How do we inform them? We must be sincere in our pronouncement. Sometimes I ask myself whether some of us, when we go back home, we sleep at night. You see this floor, you have immunity. You can say anything, and at the end of the day, nobody will take you to court. You can call people, label them, whether true or false. But you need to ask yourself whether what you are saying about those people is truthful. And many a times, the pronouncements on this floor are not truthful. That's why when you are challenged to bring evidences, you falter. That's why when you are asked to bring references, you never find one. That's why when you are asked to put down your
Point
papers,
of order,
you sit
Honorable
down.
Speaker. Point of order, please.
Yes.
There is a point of order from the member for Latikunda.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. 29.5. No member shall input improper motives to any other member. To say all what members say here sometimes are false, you are imputing improper motive on us. What we say here is always truthful.
Honorable members, order. The honorable member for Latikunda Sabiji rose a point of order on imputing improper motive on members. He said because the member said some members normally say something that is untruthful. Is that imputing improper motive or otherwise? That is not the case. You are out of order.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, as I was saying, we can say anything on this floor. But let us be mindful. The people we are talking about do not have the opportunity to come, stand here, and defend themselves. And that's where true representation starts from. Honesty, sincerity, truthfulness. That is what true representation means. knowing that the Constitution has given you powers. You can say anything and go to bed about innocent people out there in the streets. And one, they wouldn't have the opportunity to come stand here, defend themselves, or two, they wouldn't have the opportunity to take you before any court of law. So, honorable members, I will remind you in his own words that as parliamentarians, to be a true leader, you must be careful of what you say. And that's why, to start, I want to tell all the ministers that we are proud of them. The honorable member for Talinding did very well, but in our own field, we don't single out people and leave the rest. Maybe it depends on your level of interaction with them. But we can tell you that all the ministers here are accessible. Even the left side of this parliament can attest to that fact. Accessibility should not come with a privilege. We are the very people who will stand on this floor and say that we are servants of the people. So as a servant of the people, if you call a minister, he doesn't pick. Should you be angry about that if you are a true servant? Should you be angry about that? We should believe in what we preach. So what I'm trying to say here is, again, be mindful of what you say. If you single out two among a lot, what are you telling about the rest? What are you telling about them? You don't need to say it. We know. So I don't need your observation. So what I'm trying to say here is, if you have any issue with anybody, go and meet them in their private times. And they will give you the audience you need. They will accord you the respect that you deserve. And Honorable Speaker, earlier on when I raised on a point of order, I said this, that we have two types of representation, those who inform and those who inflame. Today, many of the people who will take this floor, for over 5 years or over 1 year, the only thing you have to debate about is the protest that is going outside. Go to that protest right now. The people you will find there are political party leaders. Of course, we are all monitoring social media. If I'm wrong, you can correct me. We have political party leaders going out there. Because you know what, Honorable Speaker? They know that this year, President Barrow have already won the election. And the only thing they can think, the only thing they want to do is to create a sense of insecurity. I will tell you this. We have a president who is tolerant. We have a president who is peaceful. We have a president who is what? A Democrat. But we will not allow anyone to make this country ungovernable. Honorable Speaker, I beg to take my seat. Thank you.
Thank you very much, nominated member Keba Lang Fofana, for that deliberation. And honorable members, on that note, I will adjourn for prayer break and lunch, suspend the assembly up to 15:45. The assembly is suspended.